Hello there.
Hello, I am Sean. I am friends with Sabrina. Not that she would admit that to anyone in the public, but I think she will admit she is a passing acquaintance of myself. So I am here showing how to cook some food here in Canada. Now, there's a little history to this, as when I was growing up, I became very good friends and still am to this day. My best male friend, his parents came from Ukraine. And when they came here, they had 3 children, one my friend, and they, being from Ukraine, which of course is close to Russia, and let's hope does not become part of Russia, but let's not get political now, they liked similar food. And one dish that is very popular in that part of the world is beef stroganoff. Now there's many different ways to make beef stroganoff, and I never heard of, because my parents, I come from an English-Irish background. So my parents are from Ireland and Britain and the Isle of Man. So that's where my ancestors are from. So I never had beef stroganoff. We had many other different types of food here in Canada growing up. So I was, over the Christmas holidays, I was at my friend's family home, and his brother had come up from Mississauga, which is around the Greater Toronto area here in Canada, one of the biggest, well, no, the biggest city in Canada. And he made beef stroganoff, and he said, try it. And I was like, whoa, how did you make that? And when he told me some of the ingredients, I'm like, that's strange, but it tastes good. So I never forgot about that, and that was 30 years ago. So when I like to cook myself, I'm always looking for different dishes. And what do we all do across the world when we want to find something? We Google it. We go online and we do a search. So I Googled it and I found a great recipe for beef stroganoff. And many, like I say, different variations. You can cut up the beef. You can take, like I'm going to do today, lean ground beef. And yeah, I just tweaked it to what I liked, because the ingredients for the recipe I found called for canned mushrooms. I don't like canned mushrooms, not at all. So I instead decided on a proportion of fresh mushrooms that I found worked very nicely. And other than that, I pretty much follow the recipe. But any recipe, as we get more and more comfortable cooking, is always open to variation and interpretation, and make it the way that you like. And as I was saying to my passing acquaintance, Sabrina here, I like to just make it, that's one of the reasons why I like to cook, is because I have that ability to just do it exactly the way
you want it.
I want it. Exactly, exactly. So this does appear to be, and it is, a lot of mushrooms. Well, we'll leave those couple left there. So we need that, and we need to cut up one medium-sized onion. Now, depending on how strong of an onion you like, you can do yellow onions, you can do sweet onions, you can do cooking onions. I like sweet onions, because I'm not very sweet. I'm a very bitter, angry man. But no.
We all know that.
So just cut up the onion, because the first thing that we're going to do once I cut up the onion is we're going to just cook up the onion so it starts getting a little bit translucent, and I'll do that with some garlic. I've got some minced garlic. Garlic is one of the more healthy things, as we probably all know, that we can add to any food that we make. So I'm going to add the minced garlic, and then I'll start grounding the beef with it, or browning the ground beef with it. And the good thing about this dish, like a lot of, people think, oh, when you cook it takes forever. No, you'll see that, and I did start the mushrooms cooking or cutting them up ahead of time, but from start to finish doesn't really take that long to make this, like maybe half an hour. Oh, one thing I am going to do.
Get it boil.
I'm going to boil the water. Good, you read my mind.
Yeah, smart me.
Yes, so
What's
I'll
that
put
you're
the salt.
putting in?
And I did already add a little bit of vegetable oil, which I'll just show you what I used. See, just some standard vegetable oil.
You put oil in the water?
Yep, it helps make sure that the noodles don't stick together.
Does it help?
Well, it could be an old wives' tale, but as far as I know, that works. So
You just believe in that?
I do.
Doesn't mean that's the truth.
Just like I believe in ghosts and witchcraft.
You do?
Well, that's another story.
Okay.
But, so yes, so I'll get the water going because the noodles are going to probably take about 10 minutes to cook.
How long does it take to cook the whole thing?
Probably about half an hour.
Half an hour?
Yeah, so 30 minutes. So yeah, not bad.
Good.
35 minutes. So yeah, good.
Profile.
Yeah, so once, and think about it, you know, I know in China, from what I understand.
Profile.
Oh, we have a secret word.
Yes, okay.
And if I pay attention, then I'll do what I need to do.
Yes.
See? That's one thing that Sabrina likes when I'm very obedient. When I listen.
When you listen, that's a good ad.
Yes. So no, like when, you know, you're working, and if both of you are working, you know, both people in the home, if you're married, if you're not single, yeah, when you get home, you don't necessarily want to spend an hour, 2 hours cooking.
Right.
So this is something that you can make from scratch, and yeah, be done in half an hour. So don't need to make the onions too small, but just got to cut them up in nice little chunks. And I'm not a sous chef, so I value my digits, aka my fingers. So I'm not going to go too fast. So I'll put that in the green bin, the onion skin in the ends later on. And
I'm not
if you
crying,
are
you're
sensitive
crying.
to getting your eyes, you know, like watering,
Yeah.
you may get someone that doesn't have that problem to cut your onions.
People say wearing swimming goggles will help.
You know what? That safety goggles, absolutely.
Very good idea.
Yeah, and if you're not worried, if you're more worried about substance than looks, then you don't care if you look like a dork wearing your swimming goggles while you're cooking.
You look like a dork all the time, so what's the point?
I'm used to it, exactly. So what? Yeah, like you can't be any worse, right?
Right.
So as you can see, just this one onion is making up quite a bit that I'm gonna turn the burner on so that we can get that going. Yes, we are doing this cooking in my humble abode, my home that I have here in Sudbury, Ontario. And it's not a small kitchen, it's not a big kitchen, it's just right. Because it gives me the room I need so that I can move around and cook. Now, I'm going to need to take some butter. Okay. Now, the ingredients call for, and I'm just going to check my phone. I'm going to be out of, I know, please don't worry, I'm not lost, I will return. I'm just grabbing my phone because I was charging it a bit. Because I have, like I said, I meant what I said. Said what I meant. I googled the recipe, and that's where I'm just referring to it. So it says a 1/4 cup of butter. So that was a medium size, a 1/4 cup. Now in Canada, and I'll show this on the screen, it has the measurements on the butter.
I never noticed that.
See, you learned something new today. So
I just use it. Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
So 1/4, how much is it?
Well, 1/4, according to this, would be about...
wow, that's
right
interesting.
there. So I'll go like that, and voila.
That's not much.
No, but you don't need a lot because
that's called 1/4.
Yeah, that's about the equivalent to a 1/4 cup. So I'll take the tin foil off. I don't really want to eat tin foil. It's not good for your teeth. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'll get that off. And then you can, of course, store the butter in the fridge or the freezer. So I'll put that there. And Now, I've got minced garlic. We all know what garlic looks like. Well, I'm going to be really obvious. I'll show you guys what garlic looks like.
Garlic doesn't look like that in China. This is the one.
Yes.
Yeah, but
So-
not like that.
So this is the before, and this is the after picture in a jar. So I have the minced garlic, which there are some basic ingredients that you can get really cheap here. Like this jar of minced garlic. Oh, my hand's slippery right now. So
I'm gonna open it.
Ah, there we go. So as you can see, it's just minced up like an oil and that. And now just going to take like a tablespoon. See about that's almost the equivalent to 2 cloves of garlic.
Okay.
Now let's go plop.
Well, what are you trying to do there? Let me see.
Yep. So as you can see, I've got
it's
I'm going to brown the onions
butter,
and the butter.
onions, and the garlic.
Minced garlic. Yes. So that's going to mince up. Put that
Oh,
in
this
there.
is like the sauce, right?
Yeah. This is one of the base things. The
Oh,
sauce is going to come from
Let me remember
the, which I know you're going to think, really? Canned mushroom.
this. Okay.
Campbell's is a very long-standing name in Canada for soup. They are like the leaders in making soup.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yep.
It's trustworthy?
It's very trustworthy. There's all kinds of pop culture references, as in, if anybody knows who Andy Warhol is, he did a picture of a can of soup of Campbell's. Like he painted that. And yeah, it's they're the most well-known soup in Canada.
Oh.
So
That's
like,
a very well-known brand.
yes, and when I was growing up in Canada, my mom used to make us Campbell's cream of tomato soup. So, and it would be made with, so basically this exact same size can, you would put this in the soup, like in the pot, and then you would fill the can one more time with milk. You could do it with water, but that's, you gotta have the milk. So then you would just mix it up, and you would have that with a grilled cheese sandwich. So whatever kind of bread you like, along with
Sounds good. Sounds
yeah,
yummy.
and that was that's like what I would call comfort food. Reminds me of my childhood.
Oh,
So now I'm just breaking up the onions a bit in case the different layers are stuck together.
I see.
As you can see, the butter's melted, and I'm
So
just
you have butter, onions,
and garlic.
and garlic. Garlic. It's not sauce, is it?
No, this is just the base ingredients, and everything's got to be done in the right order. So
Oh.
anybody that likes to cook knows that if you put certain things in too soon or too late, well, then it's
And
not
then you're
going
gonna
to
put
taste
the
right.
can in.
At one point, I will put the can in, yes.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. And Sabrina will give bonus points to anyone that knows which superhero this costume belongs to. A hint, one of the most popular actors from Canada, actually, they're a Canadian actor who is known worldwide. He starred in a superhero movie about this superhero that bombed.
Bond. We all know Bond.
Like bombed, as in like really bad.
That bomb, not Bond.
Oh yes, yeah, no. Like as in did really bad.
Oh.
Now, got that. So now while that's almost at the point,
Oh, beef. We need
Yeah.
beef.
we need to brown the beef. Now because we're using lean ground beef, so that's what a pound of lean ground beef standardly looks like here. Because we're using that, I really wanted it to be even healthier or less fat. You could drain the fat, but I'm not going to drain the fat. Because it's
lean already.
Exactly, and you need some fat for flavor. Is really what it comes down to.
Right.
I don't know, but I think it's a universally accepted fact that fat tastes
Good.
Yes.
It is universal fact.
I think so.
I believe so.
So, just going to cook this a
Can
little
I
longer.
say I know so?
Oh yes, I think that's a safe statement.
Yeah.
Oh, I just noticed that there's a little bit of the skin of the onion, so I'm just going to take that out because that's not as tasty. Now, some people may like it. I personally do not. So, just taking that little bit of skin from the onion out. Now, I've got this. Now, I myself don't want to overcook the onion because I want to taste the onion as part of the mixture.
Okay.
And because it's sweet onion, it's not as strong. So that's why I'll just cook this a tiny bit longer. And then I'm going to add the ground beef and then brown the ground beef. And now you guys can't smell it, but Sabrina can attest to the fact that already you're starting to...
Nobody knows me here, Sean.
Oh, that's true.
They just randomly come in and just check it out.
Okay, this random Asian lady sitting over in my
Very random.
They're
not like my close friends, or they know me while they don't know me.
No, that's a good point to make. So now I'm breaking up and we just bought most of these ingredients just at the grocery store today. We're very lucky in Canada. Yes, it's all as fresh as it can be, because in Canada, nowadays, grocery stores are open 7 days a week. When I was growing up, nothing was open on Sundays.
Well, you mean China is pretty much like 24/7.
Okay. So, well, no, I'm not. Now, was it always like that though in China?
I think so. Like Chinese people work long hours so they can make more money.
Right. Yep. So no, but in Canada, it was only about 25 years ago that we actually were allowed to open stores on Sundays.
Because it's church day.
Yeah, that 7th day of rest. And now convenience stores, certain things that gave basic needs, they are stores like that were able to be open, but most like department stores that sold whatever things. But now, as is probably more common in China than it is here, people just buy things online. People do like we're doing. They're streaming online, learning things that way.
Yeah.
That was not the case when I grew up. Because I know I look much younger, but I'm 54 years old. So
wow.
I've lived a bit of life.
Who says you look a bit younger? That's the thing. Who said that?
See, you couldn't let that slide, could you?
I couldn't.
Oh. You're just being true to yourself.
Yep.
That's good. So so I'm browning. Now the water's taking a little bit longer to boil, but soon. And what happens when you watch water boil? It doesn't boil.
Okay.
That's just another tried and true fact of life. But that's okay. So soon enough, this will be browned, and then I'm going to add those mushrooms, which took me about 10 minutes to cut up because I'm not fast. And then once the water boils, the noodles will take probably about 10 minutes to cook. Okay, you know what?
What's going on?
I have to turn the water on.
You didn't turn it on?
I didn't turn the water on. I don't know what I was thinking. So yes, this is all good though. We're going to still be able to cook this and all that, but no, for some reason, I did not have the water on. I thought I did.
So you have to boil it first before you put the noodles in?
Exactly. Otherwise
what happens?
They do tend to stick together and that kind of stuff. So, but I do push the envelope a bit in that once I start to see that the water's just getting ready to boil, I'm okay with putting the noodles in. But that's okay, because this is going to we're going to have to cook the mushrooms for a bit in that once, and then I'm going to add some salt and pepper and some flour. Now, you can use cornstarch, or you can use flour. It's just something to thicken things up.
Yeah.
So Sabrina comes over here, and you can see how the meat now is just about fully browned.
Wow. Looks good.
Yeah, and one thing, I don't like it being too chunky, so I'm always being conscientious of breaking it up. And it's easier to do that when it hasn't been frozen. If you freeze meat, which, you get, say, a lot of meat at once and then separate it into, like, I don't know, pound or 1 pound or half kilogram packages and put it in the freezer, well, when you then thaw it, it does have a tendency to not break up as easy. So you just got to, be a little more... use a little more effort to do that, but as you can see, it's breaking up quite nicely.
Nice.
How is it smelling, random Asian lady?
Pretty good.
Good.
I guess it's because I'm hungry.
That helps.
That helps,
definitely
yeah.
helps. So I'm going to...
Didn't eat much for breakfast. Just getting ready for this. And
Well,
ice cream.
Yes, you gotta save room for the ice cream.
Yes,
Now, is ice cream popular in China?
it is.
Is there
Because I was born and raised in China. If I were in China, it would be very popular. You trust me on this.
Okay. And what are flavors in China that you don't have here? Is there like common flavors that are...
What do you mean by flavors?
oh, like, you know,
strawberry?
vanilla, chocolate,
Yeah.
strawberry. Do you have like, is green tea a popular Chinese...
Green tea?
Like green tea ice cream?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We have Haagen-Dazs there.
Ooh, nice.
All the different flavors.
So I'm just going to take a little bit of flour. This is common to have a container on your counter that's just for flour or for sugar. So I'm going to sprinkle some flour.
That's the
in it.
same effect as a starch, right?
Exactly. It's the same idea as cornstarch. So got that in there. I've got a pepper. I like using fresh ground peppercorns. So this is an electric pepper grinder.
That is something I learned when I came here. It's like you have to do that. Normally we just buy the kind of ready ones,
Yeah, but it's
grounded.
But it's so much more flavorful.
Really?
Oh, yes, this
It does make a difference?
it does make a huge difference in my opinion. And you can control how
Is
big
it
you want the
automatic?
pepper.
It's automatic.
Yep. So then you can, yep, well, that's the thing. And then you just flip it over, it's got a battery. So I've got
Really? That's something new.
yeah, or you could just grind it yourself like this one. This is from Costco.
Oh, I know that one.
Yeah.
But it's
and
not something that, you know, Chinese people use. It's just an already and you just ground it and you just use it.
Yeah.
But this one is, you have to grind it first.
Yeah, and that's just that way. I just find it's much more flavorful. Flavor.
Huh. And then you put mushrooms in.
Yep, so as you can see, I'm just going to dump the mushrooms and start to cook them. Now that water's starting to boil a bit, but I'm not quite ready to put the noodles in. Now this is a bigger than usual frying pan. It's got high up. I also cook sometimes here with a wok, which I'm sure you're familiar with, those of you in China. But for this dish, yes, a non-stick frying pan that's about 15 centimeters or more diameter with at least a couple of inches high edges is great, because when you put the mushrooms in, at first they take up a lot of room, but once they start cooking, of course, they shrink.
Shrimp. Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to do this for a bit, and then I'm going to open up the can of cream of mushroom soup. It just adds a certain kind of extra flavor. Now, if you weren't using cream of mushroom soup, there are other ingredients that you might use to add for the sauce, but the flavor that this creates, I really like. So I'll let that simmer a bit, and I will now open up the sour cream. Now 14% is sort of standard. I'm using lactose free because I wasn't sure if
Somebody can handle it.
yes, because when you have issues with lactose, that's not fun. Now that I'm not going to put in yet. That's the last ingredient to put in. Excuse me, but I'm now going to open up.
The can?
Yeah, it's got to find my can opener.
I
See?
still don't know how to use that thing.
Oh, no?
I bought it because in China the can is not like that. You have something little thing on top. You can just pull it out
Oh,
and then
okay.
it's ready. And for
Yeah.
this thing,
This cost me $5, this can opener from IKEA. And I'm
Okay.
pretty sure there's IKEAs in China.
yes, there are quite many.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I've never bought it. I never bought it in my life before I came here.
Huh. So-
we didn't have to buy this because the can you can just put it up yourself.
No, that is very common that you have to use a can opener here. So there, so it's like a condensed, it's like almost like gelatinated. It's just condensed, and then I'll put that down there, and then I'll just go
Oh, the whole thing.
and plop.
Do you have to pour some water in it?
Yep. That's what I'm going to do right now.
See, I have common sense, even
You
though I'm
do.
not a good cook, but I have common sense.
So I'm using a spatula to just get the extra stuff out and added some water to help along with that. So, and then I'll just smear that in there. And then I'll clean off, because I'll use that also for the sour cream in a bit. So I'll just put that there. And now I'm going to mix this around.
Oh,
Because now this is going to simmer for about 10 minutes.
okay.
Now, unfortunately, the water is...
Unfortunately. Clear.
Yes, unfortunately, the water has not started boiling yet. But
Maybe
it's
you need
getting
to put
close.
a lid on it.
Ah, that could help, and I do have a lid for that.
And that will speed up the process.
Yes, that's a good point. So I'm just going to add a little more water. There we go. Because once the mushrooms start to cook more, they will add moisture to the mixture as well. But right now, I just want to get this mixed around evenly. So as you can see, Sabrina.
Yes, maybe something.
Yeah.
This one. What do I need to see?
Oh, I wasn't sure if you wanted to take an overhead view.
Yeah.
So as you can see, I'm mixing around the soup.
Ah,
So that once this is all pretty evenly mixed around,
it looks pretty rich.
it is. I will then let it just simmer for a while, and while that's the case, I'm going to then add the noodles, because as you can now see, the water it's not boiling yet, but you know what, it's getting close enough that I'm going to add the noodles anyways, so we can get those started.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just hungry.
Oh,
I'm ready to eat.
oh, I'm getting there too. Okay, so put that down. So yes, this is what this random Asian lady was very fascinated with, is no yolk
Yes.
egg noodles. And they are made in Canada. But yeah, they're cholesterol-free egg white noodles. And they go very nicely with the beef stroganoff. I'm just very, very carefully opening up the package. And then I'm going to add that to the water.
Ooh.
And then I'm going to grab, what do I need here? Can I just grab a fork?
Yes, you can.
Thank you. Oh, that's a spoon. There's a fork. So I can break that up in amongst the water. Get my profile. Now I'm probably going to have to add a little more water. I should have just probably, in hindsight, put half the noodles for now, but hindsight's 20/20. So, which I definitely do not have 20/20 vision. So I'm gonna add a little more water. There we go. If we need to, I can add some more. So now this is starting to simmer nicely. And now I'm gonna look at just to time this. So probably at about 255, I'm going to turn the heat off of this, and I'm going to add the sour cream. Because what you do is, you add the sour cream as the last ingredient. Because then it just adds another type of flavor to it, more depth that you wouldn't have if you didn't add the sour cream. So,
Did you add it?
no, I gotta
Not
cook.
yet.
It's gotta be basically finished cooking before I add the sour cream. So, and as you can probably tell, which I don't care about, it can get a little messy. So that's just the way it is when you're cooking. And where's my can? Add a little more water to the mixture. There we go. And see, and that's the thing, you just gotta always keep an eye on everything at the same time as best you can, so that nothing overboils or anything like that. But yeah, like this is just, and the good thing with this, because I'm making it from scratch, You can have variations. If you want less salt, you can get low salt cream of mushroom soup, or even no salt added. And then just control the amount of salt, because you might be, you might have high blood pressure, heart condition.
Yep.
So that way you're controlling what you put in. Now in this case, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not taking the fat out, I'm not straining it, but because it's lean, it's not too bad. And again, it adds flavor. So yeah, so now those noodles are starting to cook a bit. And yeah, we're getting very close to being able to eat.
Nice.
Now, you don't necessarily, as I've demonstrated here, because I know that depending on your, what type of home you have, whether you're in an apartment or a small house or such, you may not have a big kitchen. You don't need a big kitchen. You could even have just 2 elements on your stovetop, and all I really needed was, this much space on the counter. And I can cook everything I need and not have to I don't have to have a huge kitchen. I don't need lots of space. Because I'm sure it's quite popular in China to eat out.
Absolutely.
And it's definitely becoming more and more popular here in Canada, but usually what it'll cost, like if you were to, the amount that this is going to make of beef stroganoff, if I were to try and pay for at a restaurant the same amount, it would probably be 4 or 5 times as expensive as to what I'm able to make. And this is something that keeps in the fridge for days after. I've had leftover beef stroganoff, 5 days, even might be pushing it more than a week, but yeah, definitely 3 to 5 days afterwards. So, and this makes enough for 6 to 8 people to eat what I just did. That it depends on portions, but yeah, I think this would easily serve a minimum of 6 people, but probably more like 8 if you're just using reasonable portions. Not too big, not too small. But everybody's idea of what reasonable is can vary. Yes. Okay, so now that's simmering and the noodles are coming along. Still don't quite have it as hot as I would like, but we're almost there. They don't seem to be sticking, which is good. So I'm just concentrating on trying to make sure that they're not sticking. Now, something else that you might want to add to this would be a nice simple salad. You could...
Salt.
Oh yes, you could add salt, but as to complement the meal, to get some complex carbohydrates, some veggies, you could, common thing would be to make whatever type of lettuce. You could have mixed greens, you could have green lettuce, iceberg lettuce, romaine lettuce, arugula, you name it. And mix that together with tomatoes, cucumbers, onions, celery, peppers, and even just a simple oil and vinegar dressing where you would put 1 part vinegar, 3 parts oil, and however much salt and pepper you want, and that makes a delicious dressing. And it's so simple to make.
Well, salad is not very popular in China.
Oh no?
I never bought a salad kind of package here. Normally we don't eat it like that.
Huh. So how would you eat?
We stir fry them, we just eat it as vegetable. We don't do salad. Normally we don't. So
are things more, you eat vegetables, they're cooked more, not raw?
Hot, yeah.
Okay.
Like when you're in a restaurant, people will serve you like cold water, like icy water. That normally wouldn't happen in China because we drink hot water. We don't drink that kind of water.
And it is better for your digestion
Yes.
if the water's hot.
And also, like cold milk, I can never understand why people drink cold milk. They just get it out of the fridge, they just drink it.
Oh, yeah.
I'll never be able to do that.
Huh.
Because in our opinion, or not our opinion, in my opinion, in a lot of people's opinion, milk is supposed to be drink hot.
See, and the only time you drink warm milk is at bedtime. If you're going to drink warm milk, it would be at bedtime. That, again, supposedly helps you go to sleep.
Yes, but even in the morning for us, it gotta be hot.
Oh, no.
It gotta be hot.
Cold, and it's really strange because, like cereal, if it's cold cereal, like dry cereal, like Rice Krispies, Corn Flakes.
Also, we don't
Don't
really
have
eat
that?
cereals. No.
Oh, okay, yeah, because with that, it's common to have cold milk. But if you make oatmeal or that, then the cereal's hot, so it doesn't matter if you're adding cold milk or warm milk.
Okay, it's still gonna be warm.
It's still going to be warm. But yeah, for drinking, oh yes, I definitely was used to drinking cold milk because I used to drink milk all the time when I was younger. So now I'm going to take a noodle and just test it. Just let it cool down a bit.
Yeah, and I'm gonna eat it. Good enough?
We're getting pretty close.
Close, okay.
So now, let's see what time it is here. Oh yeah, I'm going to add the sour cream. So this is the equivalent to 2 cups. So you're supposed to add 1 cup. So that's what I'm going to do.
Let me see, the cup.
Yep. Now I'm just going to eyeball it. So I'm just going to plop so much in.
Okay.
And then, yeah, like so. So that seems about, that seems about right. Now I'll just mix that spoon around to get some of that extra sour cream off because I don't want to scrape the pan because it's non-stick. So
it's non-stick, okay.
Yeah, so I'm trying to be careful not to do that. And I'll do a little taste test.
It's good?
That's good. That's good stuff.
Well, okay, let's see.
So now you mix it around. So it's going to make it, of course, lighter in color because of the sour cream. And I'll turn that back on a bit. But yeah, no, we're actually getting caught up pretty well with the noodles to the timing of this. And yeah, if you look at the timing of when we started and when we're at, we're basically done. And we now have a delicious meal that can serve 6 to 8 people. And you only needed 1 pound of mushrooms, 1 pound.
How many people, did you say?
6 to 8 people.
For 1 pound beef?
For 1 pound of beef, yep. I know that doesn't quite meet your satisfactory proportion of meat.
Yeah, I'm trying to process this information. Like, really?
Yep. But again, there's lots of other things, like there's the mushrooms and the onions, and then of course there's the noodles. So it helps, if anything, if you're on a budget and you want to make 1 pound of ground beef, go a long way, this is a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so there we go. And then I've got my colander here, or strainer as you might call it.
I don't have this thing.
Yep, and that you can pick up one of these for $5 at the dollar store here in Canada and such. And it's a very valuable piece of equipment for cooking. So now I'm going to turn off the
Comparing
water.
to what kind of equipment you have, I got nothing.
Oh, you got to start somewhere.
Got nothing. Is it good?
I think we're good to take that out.
Good to go?
Yep, so I'm going to, see, I'm a creature of habit. Boom, 3 o'clock, right on the dot. So now I'm going to take this off. Now, is that too hot? No, that's not bad. So I'm going to pour that in, so you'll see a lot of steam. Yeah, careful. So I'll do that slowly.
It's hot.
Oh, it is. You don't want to pour that on you. So see, it's a non-stick pot.
Oh, then I used to be like, the tea thing you just made.
Oh.
You don't want that.
No. And then, just to get rid of some of the starch in that, and to cool down the noodles.
Oh, okay.
You'll just put cold water, not hot water, but cold water, and I'll mix it around a bit and go shake it around. And now I will just let that drain. So now we've got the noodles, and then whatever amount of noodles you want, you will put on your plate, and then you will just, either with this, or I can use a serving spoon like so, so that you can just pour whatever amount of the meat
I
mixture.
serve myself?
I know you're used to servants, I'm sorry, but yes.
Okay.
So yes, you can, but that way again, you can take however much you want.
Then now it's pretty much done. We're done.
That
We're
is
gonna start enjoying our
a
meal.
delicious meal, exactly.
Yes. Okay then.
So bon appetit, everyone, if you decide to do the same recipe.
Okay, cool.
And there you have it, folks. Our culinary voyage comes to a delightful end with this mouth-watering plate of beef stroganoff. A big thank you to Captain Sabrina of HY Voyagers and her talented friend Sean for bringing this classic comfort dish to life, right here in our Canadian kitchen. Today wasn't just about cooking, it was about friendship, sharing, and creating memories that warm us, much like this dish. From our voyage to your table, we hope this episode of Cooking with Friends inspires you to explore, to create, and to savor not just the flavors of the world, but the joy of togetherness. Until next time, keep the spirit of adventure alive in your kitchen and beyond. Take care, Voyagers.